right. Hello, everyone. It's always the 10-second pause before. Hi, Purposely Sarah and Jello. I love that name. Is it and Jello? I love that. I haven't had Jello in forever. I can't even remember the last time I had Jello, but dude, in the 80s, if you're an 80s kid, you ate Jello. A lot. And pudding. Hi, Aaron2533. Jello and pudding. This sweater is from Free People. Pretty sure. Hi from Florida. Hi, you guys. Thanks for the badge, the local star seed. I appreciate that. I think badges are working again. Cleaning my glasses so I can actually read the comments. Butterscotch pudding. Oh my God, I never had that pudding. How did I miss butterscotch pudding? Remember Knox blocks? No. What are Knox blocks? I don't know. I don't think I was privy to Knox blocks, but do tell. Thanks the Caro Show. Thank you for the badge. Simply Delish makes a clean Jello, and we have a lot. Pudding Pops. Oh my God. Pudding Pops were so good. Oh my God. Do you know who was the spokesperson for Pudding Pops? Bill Cosby. Do you guys remember Pudding Pops? Oh my God. Pudding Pops. Oh my God. Let there be clarity. Hi, Rodney. Pudding Pops were the bomb diggity dong. Jello cubes. The only time I had Jello cubes was in college at a party where they put vodka, they mixed vodka with how'd they do it? Oh no, it was fruit. Wait, they put vodka. Wait, you guys, how'd they do this? How did you make those? Anywho, there was vodka in the ice chips, but it wasn't ice. Anyways, I got really, really messed up. I almost had to go to the hospital. Jello shooters. Thank you. Oh God, don't ever do those. Really, really not good for you. Not good for you. Not good. You do not realize what's happening until like 45 minutes later when you're literally sprawled on the floor, stomach down, face drooling, and like you cannot function. It was really bad. What did I study in college? I went to college, I studied psychology, and then I went to graduate school and I got my master's in psychology, and I was working with young kids that had that were at risk, that had a lot of diagnoses back in the day. And then I was getting my PhD, and then I dropped out when I was writing my dissertation. Thanks, low something 07 for the badge. Yeah, I had gone through all the schooling and I was writing my dissertation and I was like, I'm out. I didn't like doing it. I was getting my hours, so I was working with young kids and getting my hours for my license. And I said, pretty sure this is not, I knew, like, here's how you know, here's a sign that you are, that you're not doing what you're meant to do and it's time for a change. Every day I would drive to the place where I was doing getting my hours, and I was working there full time, but it wasn't work. I was doing it for pretty cheap. Anyways, I was driving, and every single day I was like, I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be doing this. In fact, I remember one day I was like, maybe they can just like, a car can come and like crash into my car and then I can't go anymore. Like, instead of just being like, I think I'm just going to mature, like as a mature adult, just quit. I didn't know how to quit. I felt I felt like I had to follow through. Like I needed, like I had gone this far and I'd spent this much money. I was like, I have to follow through with this dissertation and with getting my hours. So I had this like great idea of like getting into a car accident. And that way I wouldn't have, like something would happen and I could just like figure out a way to get out of it. And so I just courageously quit. And then do you want to know what I did after that? You guys are going to laugh. I don't know why I'm sharing all this, but okay, so I quit graduate school. All I knew was psychology. All I knew was therapy. All I knew was how to like work one-on-one with people. But I didn't want to do any of that. I didn't want to do anything like that. So I went to a wedding store where you buy wedding dresses because my stepsister was getting married and I had to go get fitted for a bridesmaid's dress. So I go into this is a true story. I go into the wedding store, whatever those places are called, and I'm like watching the whole process, and I'm watching the brides and I'm watching the bridesmaids and I'm like watching this whole thing. And I kid you not, I sat in the back room. If you've ever been there, you know there's like, sometimes there's like private rooms where you can sit and have wine and watch like all the people come out with their dresses. I sat there for like 3 hours. And at the end of the 3 hours, because I was like, maybe I should go home, like maybe I should leave. And at the end of the 3 hours, I was like, hey, are you guys hiring? I need a job. And they were like, yeah. And so I worked at a bridal store. I worked at a bridal store for like a year before I went into private equity, which I loved it. I loved working at the bridal store because it was so much fun working with brides that were so excited to get married. But it was super random. Anywho, there's that. Is it a full moon today? For some reason, I thought the full moon was tomorrow. I was an executive assistant in the private equity for like 10 years. And then I said, it's time to leave private equity and get going and doing what I came here to do. But what's fascinating about our lives is the miracle of how we got to where we're at. Like everything that had to unravel, every turn that we had to make, every no that we had to say, every heartbreak that we had to feel, every catastrophe that we had to go through, every courageous act that we had to do, you know, all the jumps that we did or didn't do, to know that on another level, there was an aspect of us, of me, of you, guiding us along the whole time. I really believe that. I deeply believe that there is always and currently an aspect of you. I call it the higher self. You can call it whatever you want. God, source, spirit, soul, whatever. Angels. There is a higher version of you working with you right now. And this higher version of you knows what you have in store for you. It's already sort of laid out in the quantum field. However, there's always now moment creations, okay? But you're creating from this quantum space where anything that you could possibly imagine doing has already been done by you. So you're literally just pulling. And your higher self is like, Lori or whoever, right? There's so much more than what you're in right now. You know, and you get those hits of like, I know there's a better relationship for me, or I know there is a better job for me, or I know I can have more. I know there's more abundance. I know it doesn't have to be this difficult. That's this version of you saying, wake up. There's more. There's more for you. You don't have to settle, right? You don't have to settle. You can do more, always. And there's always little breadcrumbs that your higher self leaves for you. And the higher self is always kind of tapping, right? Like, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. You know, but because of all the trauma and all the pain and everything that we have in our lives, we stay in it, right? We think that we have to work through it. We think that we have to effort really hard. We think that we have to find all the lessons in it, right? There's got to be tons of lessons in this for me, so I need to stay and learn these lessons. And I think a lot of times what we end up doing is we want a reality in our life so badly that's not in our life, right? We want a reality in our life. We want our life to be a certain way, and it isn't in the moment. And so instead of surrendering to the fact that your life just isn't the way you want it to be, we try to fix it, right? We try to change it. We try to create a different reality because we don't like or we don't want to face the reality we're in. Because when you start to really face the reality that you're in, you will most likely have to literally choose to no longer be in that reality. And that's not easy for most of us, right? So most of us will try to fix it or change or make it work in some way, which is fine. It's perfectly fine to do that. But to try to attach and force a reality that isn't there, you're going to be efforting a lot. And you're going to be in a lot of suffering or struggle, perhaps, because you're trying to change or force a reality that isn't there. You have to surrender and receive the reality that's there, and then choose. You know. What did you do after being in the bridal store? I was an executive assistant at a private equity firm. I think a lot of times we get into this programmed state that there's lessons to learn. There's lessons to learn. I need to stay in this because there's a lesson to learn, right? There's growth here. There's opportunity for growth. There's opportunity for growth. I need to stay. And I don't necessarily believe that. I think that there is always lessons and growth in everything that we're going through, always. And so growth and opportunity and lessons are always going to be given to you, you know. But this idea, what you really want to ask yourself is, this came up with my girlfriend today. If you're staying in something for a deeper reason, like unworthiness, let's say you're staying in a relationship because a relationship that's not working, okay? You're staying in a relationship that isn't working, meaning the individual may be pulling away. The individual isn't giving you what you really want. You're not being seen or heard, right? And a lot of times what we'll do is we try to fix that relationship by saying, okay, what do I need to learn here? What are my lessons? When the deeper lesson in what am I here to learn? Because what we do is we try to compromise with our partner, which is fine. We try to figure out what's wrong with us in order to make it better in the relationship. But really, quite simply, what's being asked of you is, what do you feel worthy of? What do you feel worthy of? It's that simple. What do I feel worthy of? Because there's always deeper layers to the lesson. There's always deeper layers, and it's never the surface layers that you think it is, because that's simple, that's easy, right? But there's a deeper fear. There's a deep, deep, deep fear that's holding you to the illusion that there are all these lessons you need to learn. There's so many lessons I have to learn in this, so I need to stay, because you're afraid to actually leave. Because you don't believe you're worthy. And so you create, I'm not saying you, I'm just saying we create all of these illusionary excuses for staying in a job, in a friendship, in a relationship, in a partnership, anything, because we're afraid to actually leave it. So we're like, well, there's lessons for me to learn, or there's growth here, or there's this, or there's that. I'm learning this. Let's just excuse. The deep, 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 deep fear is to actually jump. The deep fear is to actually leave. That's the deep. And why is that the most of the time? Why is that the absolute truth? Because if you were to really ask yourself, is this what I want? Is this really what I want? Is this my highest potential? Right? Is this the greatest that I could have? Your answer would most likely be no. right? Now, of course, like there's all kinds of different, there's gray in all of this, you know? There's gray in everything. Every relationship is different. Every job is different. Every experience that we're having is different, okay? But you really want to ask yourself, you guys, right now, there is so much shifting and changing happening with all of us. We are changing so quickly, right? There's so much change. And one of the things I was shown today, this vision I got with all of us is like, because it's hard for us to change, right? Because it's hard for us to jump. It's hard for us to make changes in our lives. It's hard for us to step out of relationships or get it or find a new job or move or whatever it is that we're going through. Really stand up for what you believe in relationships, whatever it is. Because it's so challenging for us, what's happening right now for many of you is that it's happening regardless. So the individual is leaving your life no matter what. The job, you're being fired out of nowhere. Your car's breaking down and you're like, what the hell? You know, all of a sudden you're getting an eviction notice or like the house you're renting is going up for sale, right? These things are starting to happen to all of us because we're not listening to the signs that we've been giving ourselves. And so this aspect of us, higher self, you, is now going to be like, fuck it. She and he, they're not listening. We're going to take matters into our own hands because right now there is so much opportunity to shift into these new versions. And we're so in this like state of forgetfulness, like we have forgotten what we're doing here called evolution. We're evolving from old versions to new versions. We forgot, right? Because you all know, you just forgot and you forgot how it works. So we're stuck in these patterns. We're stuck in these relationships. We're stuck in these old ways of being, even though there's a tap like, you got to go, you got to go, you got to do it, you got to do it, you got to do it. And you're like, okay. Now higher self is like, I'm just going to pull it from her. I'm going to pull this from him. And so what we do when that happens is because we still believe that we're victims, that the world is doing something to us, we forget that the world is not doing anything to us. The world's not doing anything to us. The world is serving us through our creation with it. We are creating in every moment what is for our highest good. And sometimes many of us need a slap in the face. So the higher self is coming in, it's like boom, boom, boom. But because we think that the world is doing something to us, that we're victims, that we're not creating our reality, right? We all of a sudden blame the external. You blame this person, you blame that person, you blame this. There's all this blame. And then you're completely forgetting what's happening. You're forgetting the gift of what is occurring. If this individual is leaving your life, hallelujah, this is evolution. That must mean that something greater is coming for you and it's going to be for your highest good, period. End of discussion, case closed, signed, sealed, delivered. If you're losing your job, I'm telling you, it is to propel you into the next highest version of you. It's to catapult. But because we're afraid, we don't do it. Right now, this is happening to so many of us. So many, and it's a gift. You should be like thanking yourself for all of the smacks in the face that the universe or your higher self is giving you. Because you're actually able to catapult. The heartbreak you may be feeling right now, what a freaking gift. I'm telling you. The fear that you have around, oh my God, am I going to make money? My job all of a sudden got pulled from you. Greatest freaking gift. That we are living in a time right now that is not like any other time. It is not like any other time. The energy on the planet, the energy in your body, the energy all around us has such a potential to shift us. But because we haven't experienced it before, and because we don't trust the energy of what's occurring within us and around us, we hold ourselves back from this magical evolution. We hold ourselves back in these old programs and these old paradigms. That we have to fix things, that we have to make things work, that we have to figure out what is this in here that I need to what's the lessons in here so I can stay in this? What if there are no lessons? What if everything is designed to continue to catapult you? What if the world isn't doing anything to you? What if this entire time, your entire life, you have actually been co-creating with the world? The other thing you want to think about is your reality. A lot of you guys know this. Your reality is based on frequency, like your body. So you guys have heard this before, right? Like the law of attraction. Your reality, your life is going to match what your frequency is. Let me explain this a little bit deeper. So every experience that you've ever had, okay? Every relationship, every trauma, every discomfort, every heartbreak, everything that you've experienced has been kind of dissected or digested in your physical form, which has created thoughts and beliefs and behaviors, addictions, trauma stored in there, all of that. Every experience that you have had is consciousness or energy. Every experience. So every experience is consciousness and energy that has moved into your beautiful physical form. And guess what happens? All these thoughts and beliefs and behaviors and emotions are created from these experiences. And guess what thought, emotions, behaviors, and beliefs are? They're consciousness, they're energy. And guess what they do? They create a frequency in your body. So all of your experiences throughout your entire life are creating a specific frequency in your body. The thoughts are inside, the beliefs are inside, the emotions inside, the behavior stems from inside. The addictive behaviors, they stem from inside. Creating the frequency, which then creates the reality and, more importantly, creates the choice that you choose throughout your life and throughout your day. How you choose to be, how you choose to respond, the partners you choose, the animals you choose, the place you live, the way that you go to work, how you interact with people at the grocery store. All of that is a choice, whether you're conscious of it or not, and it's all based on your frequency. So what's happening right now for all of us is that these thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, and emotions creating this frequency are starting to change. Because the frequency within your body is starting to increase. If the frequency in your body is starting to increase based on evolution, then the thoughts, behaviors, beliefs, patterns, and programs, traumas are going to start to need to be brought up to the surface so that they can integrate into this higher frequency so that you can then hold new experiences, new beliefs, new thoughts, new emotions, new behaviors, so that you can then have a new reality, so that you can choose in new ways. Does this make sense? Do you guys understand? Did you follow that? Right? So this is what's happening right now. This is why it's like layers of clothing, okay? Think of your thoughts. Think of all of your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotions, your behaviors, the programming, the trauma, the shadow, okay? Think of all of that as layers of clothing that are inside your body creating a specific suit or a specific outfit. And the outfit is outdated because your body has gotten bigger. Your body is growing. The suit doesn't fit. But because we have forgotten how this works, we think that we are stuck in the suit. Okay? We think that this suit is just the suit. We think our thoughts just are. We have to just figure out how to how to just accept the thoughts. The beliefs are just our beliefs and they create our reality, right? The emotions that we have, we're screwed. We've got these emotions, and instead of trying to just honor them and let them move through you, we're going to try to bypass them or positive think your way. It's like looking at your socks and being like, I don't like the color of those socks. I'm going to positive think my way into those socks being purple instead of blue. You can't do that, right? You can't do it. You have to accept the suit that no longer fits, right? You have to accept that suit. And then you have to say, okay, this suit that no longer fits needs to be released. My beliefs need to be released. My thoughts need to be released. My emotions need to be released. My behaviors need to be released. My trauma needs to be released because I'm getting ready to fit into a new suit, a new way of being in the world. So if you are continuing to hold on, right, to this past version of you because you're afraid, remember the suit. Remember the suit. That you're growing out of it, literally. You're growing out of your suit. So when these things drop, you guys, in your life, a friendship, a friend walks out of your life, a relationship walks out of your life, you lose your job randomly, somebody passes in your life, you lose, your car breaks down, all these examples I was just saying, right? Somehow you owe taxes that are like 3 times the amount that you have. Everything is an opportunity for you to look inside and say, what aspect of this suit, this experience that is now in front of me, is allowing me an opportunity to look at the suit inside of me. What aspect of the suit is coming up from this experience that wants to be released? That's all that's happening with every single one of us right now. So it's a matter of being aware and conscious of what part of that suit wants to be released. What part of your limiting beliefs want to be released? And how do you release, right? How do you release the emotions, the trauma, the limiting beliefs, the limiting thoughts that you have, the programming? You have to be aware of it. You have to stop saying that something or someone's doing something to you. If you continue to say that, you are missing out on this massive magical evolution that we're in. You have to take full self-responsibility for everything that's occurring in your life. All of it, because it's all an opportunity. So first you have to stop blaming. The second you see yourself blaming, say, wait a second, I'm missing the gift. Why am I blaming? I'm missing the gift. This is a gift. This is a gift. This is a gift. Second thing, you got to observe it. Whatever is coming up in me from my boss firing me, what is it? Is it worthiness? Is it fear? Is it lack? What is it? What's coming up? You got to observe it. You got to find it. You got to say, there it is. And then you start choosing from that place. You start choosing whether you want to give the power to that thought or to that belief. How strong is it? Ask yourself, how strong is this behavior? How strong is this belief? How strong is this thought? How strong is this emotion? Honoring it. You befriend it. They're strong. Dude, emotions are strong. Thoughts are strong. Beliefs are strong, but they're not who we are. And they're a part of the suit that no longer fits you. They're a part of the suit that is too tight, that is saying, can you please release me? And as soon as you start choosing is when you start stepping into the new suit. The new suit isn't just going to be handed to you. You don't just walk into heaven on earth, which is what's available. Right? You have to first understand that you're not a victim. Step 1, nobody's doing anything to you. Which means that you have to remember that everything's a gift and an opportunity. You don't want to say gift, say opportunity. Everything's an opportunity. I'm telling you, everything. Nothing's occurring right now on this planet and in front of your face that isn't designed to assist you in evolving. Nothing is happening out in that world. Nothing that isn't assisting the entire human collective to evolve. But guess what we have to see out there? The tight suit of the human collective that is old, that's full of trauma, that's full of shadow, right? We have to see it all. And we have to be like, oh my God, as a collective, we've been in that nasty, old, worn down suit. We have to choose. So you cannot, number 1, I'm going to go back. You cannot blame. You got to take self-responsibility. You got to remember that everything's a gift or an opportunity. You have to remember that you're going through an evolution. Okay? You have to start to observe. Okay, what is this pointing within me? And what aspect of the suit is coming up? That's 4. Look at it. Observe it. Be like, oh. 5, start exploring it. How heavy is it? How intense is it? How powerful is it? I call that befriending it. You befriend it. You're like, I'm not afraid of it. The moment you're afraid of your thought, the moment you're afraid of your belief, the moment you're afraid of the emotion is the moment that it has control over you. So the moment that you observe it and you're like, damn, you're a powerful mother freaking thought. Holy shit, you have a lot of control over me. It loses its power. Just like that. Try it. I'm telling you, it's magic. You start recognizing a belief, right? A really powerful limiting belief that continues to come in. Instead of being afraid of it or being angry at it, you just say, holy shit, you are a powerful belief. Oh my God, my entire life, I've legit followed you. How did you do that? Do you understand you're separating yourself from it, but you're not ignoring it, and you're sure the hell not bypassing anything. You can't bypass the suit. So many people want to bypass the uncomfortable tight suit that they're wearing. You can't. You have to actually peel it off through choice. So you want to befriend those thoughts, befriend those emotions, befriend those behaviors, which, by the way, in order to befriend anything, you have to stop judging yourself. So throw that in the mix of these things that you need to do. Stop judging. Stop judging yourself. We all have a dirty old suit on. All of us. Thank you for the badge. Let the child heal. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with your thoughts, your behaviors, your beliefs, your emotions, your trauma, your triggers, your shadow. If you want the secret to shifting faster, meaning evolving quicker or moving into new versions of you, quite simply, stop judging. Stop judging everything, and you'll see how fast you'll accept. You'll see how fast you'll be receptive. You'll see how fast you'll start choosing. So after you befriend, right, and stop judging, and you befriend it, and you're like, holy cow, you're powerful, then you choose. You start to choose whether you want to listen to it or not. You start to choose whether you want that emotion to control you. So when an emotion is experienced within your body, okay, like rage or jealousy or insecurity or anxiety or stress, right? It's moving through your body like a energy, like a flow, like a water. And if you say to yourself, holy cow, look at that emotion, you start to befriend it. Holy shit, it's really powerful. Wow, I remember so many times feeling this and letting it control me. Okay, so you're now observing it. And then you're understanding that emotion is just designed to move. So you're like, okay, I can't control it. And I'm sure the heck not going to change it, because you can't change energy moving through you. You have to let the energy move. You're not in control of energy. Then you start to say to yourself, okay, I'm in this situation. I'm in this experience. This is the emotion that I'm feeling. I'm going to honor that emotion. And now what do I want to feel? Now what do I want to feel? So you're honoring the emotion. You're not changing the emotion. But what else do I want to feel? You're not a victim to the emotion, and you're not bypassing or pushing the emotion aside. So you're feeling the emotion. Then you're like, what am I going to feel next? Or you just allow the emotion to move and you see what comes up next. I never actually say to myself, what emotion do I want to feel next? I've never done that. I've never said to myself, I don't like this emotion, I want to feel something else. Never. I swear to you. Maybe when I was younger. I never say to myself, I don't like the way I'm being right now. I want to be a different way. Because I know that everything that's occurring around me, within me, is an opportunity. So I honor it. And because I don't judge it, I don't try to change it. I observe. I'm watching it like a movie. And then I'm choosing how I want to be with it. I'm choosing if I want to anchor it in. The way you anchor an emotion in is that you believe that you are the emotion, and then you judge it. And then you're going to anchor that emotion in. And then that emotion follows you around like an anchor all day long. And then you say to yourself, what's wrong with me? This emotion isn't going anywhere. Why do I keep feeling this emotion? Because you're judging it and you're attaching to it as if you are the emotion. It's that simple. If you are angry about an emotion, that emotion is going to grab you and anchor in. If you get angry around feeling an emotion, but then you're just like, forget it. It's an emotion. It's just moving. It's designed to move. It's just energy. It won't stick with you. It won't stick. So it's really important, you guys, as you're navigating this right now, because every single one of you that's listening to this right now, on top of the entire planet, but a majority of the planet is sort of deeply unaware of what is occurring and the opportunity they have. But all of you, I'm telling you, you are literally being navigated. You're constantly, there's constantly an aspect of you that's like trying to assist you in this, right? Trying to move you, trying to adjust. And it can be as simple as, let's say your life is great, right? And you have like, there's nothing big going on in your life. You have a great family, or you have everything's great in your life, okay? There are still ways in which you are being and experiencing yourself and thinking about yourself. There's still beliefs and thoughts and emotional states and behaviors and stuff that are being shown to you, okay? Because none of us have, there is no such thing as completing this evolution, right? It's a constant. So you're constantly evolving into. So you just want to pay attention. But this message specifically, I don't know how long I've been on, but this message specifically was for those of you that are experiencing things right now in your life where it's it feels like it's out of your control. Like someone's doing something to you. And if you just came on, go back and listen, because it's really, really important to get this. It's really important to stop trying to resist or stop trying to keep a reality in your life because you're afraid of what's to come, right? You're afraid of what may come, so you're holding tight to a reality right now that is blowing up in your face, right? That's exploding. Let the explosions happen. Don't try not to fight for what no longer is serving you, right? Try not to resist. Be receptive. One of the things about surrendering, I was explaining this the other day in my Patreon, when you think, a lot of people have a hard time with surrendering, because really what we need to do right now is surrender to what is unraveling and stop trying to fight against it, right? And all the excuses we make to fight against truly just surrendering. And one of the things that you want to think about with surrendering, because it's kind of hard to conceptualize, like how do you describe surrendering? I liken it to receptivity. So when you are in a surrendered state, you are receptive. So if you close your eyes right now, okay? Whoever wants to close your eyes, close your eyes. And you take a deep breath into your body and you just sort of sit for a second. And I say to you, okay, I want you to surrender. You're probably going to, with your eyes closed breathing, it's like, what does that mean to surrender? But if I say to you, I want you to now be receptive. I want you to receive. And I want you to imagine, with your eyes closed breathing, that being receptive means you're going to open. So you're in your body breathing. I want you to imagine that you are opening a gate within your being. And you're opening up to the world. You're opening to what the world is showing you. You're opening yourself up to what is being taken from you. You're opening yourself up to what you're experiencing in terms of your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts. That's surrender. That is surrendering, which is receptivity. The moment you feel yourself restrictive, the gate's closed. You're cutting yourself off from the gift of whatever is in front of you. Because everything that's in front of you is the opportunity. It is the gift. It is the shifts. So when you surrender to what is in front of you, when you surrender to whatever you're experiencing, including you, I want you to imagine that you are literally opening up the gates to the world. You're opening yourself to receive. I'm going to receive. I'm going to receive. And that is surrender. That's what surrender feels like. We're not designed to resist the world. We're not designed to resist what's occurring for us. And the more that we start practicing this, the more we will start co-creating with the universe, with the world, in a now moment. You're receiving anything. You're just receiving life. You're receiving the moment. That's it. So if you're walking around in your day, okay, and all of a sudden you get a phone call from a friend that starts yelling at you, okay, typically a lot of us will be in a reactive state. We'll respond back from reactivity, right? We'll be tight. We will maybe be triggered, maybe be arguing, but when you are in a surrendered, receptive state throughout your day, which means that you know that everything that is being experienced and brought to you is for a reason, meaning there is an aspect of the suit that no longer fits that needs to be let go. When that friend calls you and starts yelling at you, if you move yourself into a receptive state, i.e. surrendered state, you won't be restrictive. You will allow what is occurring. You will move deeper into a version of you that you're not used to being. You'll most likely be breathing, which you typically don't do in life. You'll slow down, that's for darn sure. And you'll see the gift, which is most likely that your friend just needs to be heard. Right? Or this is the 18th time that this person has been yelling at you, and perhaps it's time for you to feel your worthiness. And so you start to see the magic, the gift, and the opportunity of what's being presented. And then you choose, do I want this person in my life or not? Instead of being reactive and restrictive, not recognizing that every single thing is an opportunity and a gift. Because the gate is closed, right? And so you're not receptive to receive and surrender to every single thing that's happening. If you don't want to take an injection to travel, you don't have to surrender to that. You choose to not do it. So the way that you surrender and receive an experience, like, in order for me to travel or see my family, I have to take an injection. How do you open up to surrender to that and receive that? The gate is open and you say to yourself, I am now in a position where what life is showing me is I have to make a choice. I'm receiving that. I'm breathing into that. I'm experiencing that. What am I feeling? What are the thoughts and the beliefs that are coming up? Receptivity. Now, if you are restrictive and resisting, you're going to be like this. This sucks. I hate this. I can't believe I have to do this. The world is doing something to me. I'm a victim, right? You're going to be like this. When you are surrendered and receptive, no one's doing anything to you. You always have choice. The choice is you take the injection or you don't. And then you follow along with what the consequences are. And you get to have all the emotions around it, but you're receptive. You're surrendered to the experience. Life isn't always rainbows and roses out there. There's a lot of shit going down, and there's a lot of shit that's going to continue to go down, that you are going to have to go through, that we're going to have to go through, that we may not like. There's a massive shadow out there in the human collective that we have to unravel and look at. But when you are in a receptive or surrendered state doing it, you are empowered. No one's doing anything. There's an empowerment, which is sovereignty. That's sovereignty. You are empowered. You are choosing. And if you can't choose to leave your country, You are choosing your state of being. You're going to go have more fun. You're going to laugh. You're going to play. You're going to find love in situations, right? You're going to choose your state of being. But if you continue to find yourself like this, right? Fighting against the world, you're literally fighting against the shadow. You can't fight against the shadow of the human collective, the greed, the manipulation, the mind control, the coercion, the tyranny, all those things we're seeing in the world. That's the shadow of the human collective that's going to be shown to us over and over. Why? So that we can choose to not play in it. How do you choose to not play in it? You are surrendered and receptive to what's occurring so that you can find yourself in an empowered and sovereign state so that you can choose. Choose how you're going to be. It's that simple. It's truly that simple. So you can always find yourself in a surrendered or receptive state by just imagining the gate opening. And by remembering that no one's doing anything to you. And sure, there's consequences for your actions. There's consequences for everything. There's always consequence. That's how the universe works. You take an action, there's a consequence to it, right? There's a response to the action. It's not really a consequence. Consequence is more of like that has a connotation of something bad happening. But there's always a cause and effect, right? There's a cause and an effect. That's part of how the universe works. That's part of how energy, that's physics. They need you to get an injection in order to travel. Okay, make the choice. That's it. Right? Hi, Lois. It's good to see you here. I will save this live. Do you still have dreams whilst just being in the moment? Yeah, I mean, I have knowingnesses. That's what I call it. It's not dreams. I don't dream. I don't sit and say, oh my gosh, I wonder if this is going to happen. Or I don't say, I can't wait for these things to happen. I have a knowingness of what is arriving in my life. I always call these potentials, a potential. So in the quantum field, which is what you're standing in, there's all these potentials, all these possibilities. And what I'll do is I will hold one of those potentials in my now. Okay, like for me, it's a partner, right? A partner coming into my life. So for me, I don't manifest it. I don't have a vision board. I don't like say all of these like, I have a boyfriend. I don't do all that nonsense. To me, that's a waste of energy and time. Because in the quantum field, it's instantaneous. And what that means is that the potential of my partner is here. And so the way the universe works is its frequency. Okay? And I'm very clear that when my frequency is matching this potential, which is a partnership that's going to match me, I just have to do whatever I need to do throughout my day until my frequency matches this individual's frequency. It's that simple. So it's not, there's no like, I don't do anything with it. I stay present. That's it. I'm here. I'm doing this and then I'm doing this and then I don't go anywhere. It's a knowingness. So I know it is so. And I know that the way the quantum field works is because we are in linearity, okay? So because we are slow in our movements through this life, it takes time sometimes. And the other thing about intentions or manifestation, which I'm not a big fan of, is that if you are not intending from your highest potential, you're intending from more of a trauma space, which most of us do, then you're going to connect to potentials that are connecting to your frequency that is still holding a lot of trauma. So you'll start finding yourself manifesting or creating or tapping into, pulling in potentials that are going to perpetuate the same patterns. Right? You're going to perpetuate the same things over and over and over again. So you want to get really clear on what potential you're grabbing, right? You want to find what you want to get very clear on an energetic level. And then if you're really committed to that potential, you'll know that in every now moment, you are being given opportunities to match that potential's frequency. So you have to meet every opportunity with courage. You know? Yes, I believe in signs from the universe. You like my nail color? Courage, and wear purple. Wear whatever color you want. Meet every opportunity. Can you talk about how you attract a mate personally? I felt like I just did. The way I've been doing it, because I've been doing it for about 4 years, is okay, so I see myself in a quantum field. So what does a quantum field mean to me? I want you to imagine that you're in a big fishbowl, but the fishbowl doesn't end, okay? And anything that I desire or want in this human life can be found in that fishbowl, okay? And it's an energy. It's not physical. And so I know that I will receive whatever it is that whatever potential I'm going to grab, I'll receive it because it's in the quantum field. So what I do and what I've done the last 4 years is I have held the energetic knowingness that the potential or the man is here. And because I respect and honor and value and am humbled by how this quantum field works, I understand that I am not in control. I understand that the way that I will be brought, or the way that potential will be physically brought into my now moment, is through my resonance, which is my knowingness, my yes and my no's, my compass. So i.e., if I go on a date, which I don't date, but let's just say I went on a date and it was like, okay, this is not quite it. I would trust that because the potential of the partner isn't going to give me a doubt. It's going to match me. So the frequency isn't there yet. And I have so much trust in how this quantum field works that I know that I don't need to control it. But it requires a huge amount of patience because we live in linearity. So I have to have patience. I'm not in control. My higher self's in control, which is me. But my higher self would say, chill the hell out and trust. Doesn't mean that you don't go on dating apps if you want to go on dating apps. It doesn't mean that you don't go on dates. It doesn't mean that you don't go out and try to meet people. It means that you're holding this potential. That you know this potential like you know the back of your head. Wait, the back of your head? How would you know the back of your head? Wait, isn't that a statement, you guys? You'll know it like you'll know the back of your head. Is that a statement? Please tell me if that's a statement. Like, is that one of those sayings that make no sense? You'll know this like you'll know the back of your head. Please tell me if that's a statement. Do I ever feel discouraged? Yeah. There's definitely been times in the last 4 years where I have felt like, dude, maybe he's not coming. Maybe he's not coming, you know? But then I come back to, of course, that's a choice I'm going to make. Do I want to believe that? Everything is a choice. The back of your hand. Oh, it's not the back of your head. The back of your hand. You know what I mean. Anywho, you have to hold this like it's an you have to know this like you would know the back of your hand. You have to know this like you know your name. Whatever this potential is, don't sacrifice something less than. Don't say, well, it's almost this potential. Hell no. It's this potential or nothing. It's this job or nothing. And what I mean by that is, it's not that you're saying no to everything because you want to control the outcome. It's a knowingness. It's very different than control. This is why it's very touchy when you start talking about intention in the quantum field. It's an absolute knowingness. It's frequency to frequency. It's not ego. So the ego... Okay, for instance, maybe I have a list, okay? This is a good example. I have a list of all these attributes I want my man to be, okay? That's ego, which is great. It's fun, but that's not frequency. That's not the potential of him. Do you understand? So I could have all these lists. He's tall and handsome and this and that, right? But then in walks this totally random dude that is not my list, but the frequency matches and the potential has arrived. Do you understand? So it has nothing to do with how I want it to go or how I want it to look. It has everything to do with frequency. So as long as I am out of the way and not trying to control this potential, then it's going to drop. And I will feel it. I will feel this is the job, regardless of the money, regardless of where it's located, regardless of who the boss is. If I am feeling that this is the job, resonance-wise, absolute, yes, this is it. Holy shit, I had no idea this is what it was going to be. Bingo. Because I'm going to tell you something. Most of the potentials that are for your highest good are never what you imagine. Never what you imagined. Because it's all frequency-based. It's not from the ego. And if you stick to your list, which is fine, so many manifestors, right? They stick to their lists and they create their list because that is in the quantum field. It's not for your highest potential. It's not. Your highest potential cannot be found in a list because that's your ego trying to create and find the highest potential. Your ego will never be able to. It doesn't mean you don't create amazing things in your life. It's just that it means that if you're in control of creating it, you're never going to reach that highest potential. You got to let go of the lists. You've got to trust something so much bigger than you that you can't see and that you're not in control of that may take time. And humans don't like time. They want to, I manifest so fast. I manifest so fast. I manifest so fast. Why are you jumping so quickly, right? Wait. And that highest potential may come real quick. But you're not controlling it. And you're not going to say this individual or this job or this house doesn't have ... This is why resonance, like how you feel, not emotion feeling, but how you feel when you step into a room. How do you feel when you're talking to somebody? How do you feel when you are at the grocery store? How do you feel when you're at your job? How do you, like that feeling that like, ooh, this doesn't feel good. Ooh, this feels right. Right? Those types of feelings, that is what you want. That's what you want to connect to all throughout your day because that's going to show you when that potential that you're holding drops in. How does it feel to not control it? You're in that receptive state. So you're like, I don't care. It is what it is. I don't care. It'll come when it's going to come. I don't care. It's very challenging, especially if you're looking for a job. I've done this my whole life. This isn't anything new. I've lived my life this way. So if I lose a job, which I've lost plenty of jobs, right? There is a knee-jerk reaction and fear that wants to find another job fast, right? If you get out of a relationship, you may want to find another relationship, right? Fear is going to try to get you to grab or attach, or you've been single for so long, so you really want to make it happen, right? You're not in control. I'm not in control. I have to step deep into a receptive state where I am surrendering to this aspect of me I call higher self. You can call it God, you can call it universe, you can call it soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it. but it's outside of your ego that's always controlling. And it is going to drop. It is going to bring you the job. It's going to bring you. But you have to trust that. And that's really challenging. It's challenging because right when you want to quit is when it drops. And most of us, we don't always wait for it to drop, right? Because there's a lot of fear in our lives. And we don't trust. It's very common to not follow through all the way. And it's fine. You know, you take baby steps in terms of trusting how this actually works. Baby steps in surrendering and being receptive to letting the universe serve you. Being receptive to letting the universe drop that potential that you're holding. But you're always, in my opinion, or in my experience, I'm always holding potentials, right? But I'm holding potentials as if I'm floating. So I'm not grabbing it. I'm not trying to create it. The more what I have found in my life is the more that I try to create it or make it happen, grab it, the more I am literally blocking myself from it. Does that make sense? It's not that everything comes to us. It's more like you meet it. You know, if you're in the fishbowl, right, and you've got this potential, right? Let's just say you threw out a line and you're like, I'm gonna hook on to that potential called my partner, that potential called my new job, that potential called, you know, whatever it is, making $5 million or moving into a new house or moving into a van, or I don't know. You're gonna put your little hook out there in the fishbowl called the quantum field, and it's gonna grab it. That's all you need to know. You're good. Go about your day. You grabbed it. The hook is in. I'm good. I trust. Off I go. Now I'm going to go live my life. This isn't natural for it. First of all, it's the natural way of being in the quantum field. If we remembered how this all worked, we would naturally be like, oh yeah, I'm good. I put my hook out. I'm good. I'm going to go do my thing now. But we forgot how it works. Yes, being open to receive. Imagine receptivity is you literally becoming naked to the universe. It's a vulnerability. You know when you have those conversations with somebody and you're so vulnerable and raw that you feel so naked that they could literally like slice your heart open? You know that feeling where you're like, I think I might die. I'm so vulnerable. Am I going to be okay? That kind of vulnerability, you're literally surrendering and being receptive to something so much greater than you, which is you. But it's a you that you're not used to being. It's a you that you're not used to trusting. So imagine you have a relationship with you, but it's a version of you that you haven't been intimate with yet, that you haven't surrendered to yet, that you don't really trust, that you haven't really formed a firm relationship with, but you need to. It's time. So you gotta say, okay, I'm gonna trust this version of me that I don't even know is even anywhere because it's all energetic. But it's there with you right now. It's trying to lead you right now. It's communicating with you right now, all day long. Can you be vulnerable with it? Yeah, time is a bitch. Patience is a pain in the ass. This linearity that we live in sucks. It sucks. But I'll tell you what, the way that you step into or meet highest potential or the potential that you are holding, you devour everything that's in your now. You do not try to change or fix any emotion, any thought, any belief, any behavior, because everything that's appearing in your life is connected to that potential. Everything. It's all connected. It's all one. It's the quantum field. So if you're holding a potential that's in a frequency of 6.5 and you're currently holding a frequency of 6.1. You've got 0.4 frequencies to raise in order to reach this potential. Do you know how you raise your frequency 0.4? It's not positive thinking. It's not meditation. It's clearing out what is it. Where is your frequency? It's in your body. Okay. Frequency is consisted of what? Energy. Okay. Energy in your body is consisted of thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, emotions, programming, blah, blah, blah. So if you have to raise a 0.4 frequency to match this potential, okay, let's just say you were told this. This isn't how it happens, but let's just say, then you are going to bring you everything that you need to see and experience in order to clear out that 0.4% so that you can meet the potential. And the only way this happens is that you're present. If you're thinking about how you're going to do this, if you're thinking about the future, if you're thinking about the past, guess what you're missing? The 0.4 opportunity to pull into that potential. Guess what you're doing when you try to change what's occurring. Resist what's occurring. You're missing the gift and the opportunity of that 0.4. Guess what happens when you try to positive think yourself? I'm gonna raise my vibration. Dude, stop. Stop raising your vibration. Stop positive thinking yourself through the shit you don't want to feel, because it is the shit you don't want to feel that's going to bring you to the 0.4. We've been doing this all wrong. We've been trying to ignore and deny the only thing that is capable of raising your vibration and your frequency, which is the shit you don't want to feel. The only way your frequency raises inside of here is by releasing the energy and the frequencies that are holding it back, which is the thoughts, beliefs, emotions, behaviors, programs, trauma, etc. That's it. That's why every single thing is such a gift. Everything you hate, everything that sucks, everything that's uncomfortable, everything you don't want to be in, everything that is dropping you to your knees, everything you want to fight against, dude, that's the gift. That is the opportunity for you to reach this. And every single time we ignore it, deny it, bypass it, try to do these little tricks to not feel it, dude, you are literally judging yourself for the gift that you're giving yourself. You're judging yourself for the gift of what you're giving yourself in order to pop. What? Stop. Stop. Really? If we remembered how this all worked, oh my God, we would be in very different places on this planet. That's why this evolution that we're in, this human evolution in consciousness, is so incredibly difficult at times, because we have forgotten how it works. We've forgotten how it works. So remember that, you guys. And if the potential isn't an absolute match, i.e. the job or whatever, right? Ask yourself why you're grabbing that potential if it's not the absolute frequency match. Just be honest with yourself. Just ask, why am I grabbing this one? What fear am I having? Why do I not feel worthy that I can wait and have patience? Your highest potential in every aspect of your life is in the quantum field. I have to charge my phone. It's in the fishbowl. Every potential. That's for your greatest good. I'll save this. I'm sure it's going to be. I will save it. You're already in your fishbowl. You're in the fishbowl right now. Oh my God, I love these yoga pants, you guys. They're the best. They're so good. Oh my God, they're so comfortable. They're really, really comfortable. I don't know the brand. I don't know what the brand is. I'm happy you made it to the live as well. I don't know. I don't know what the brand is. What's a fishbowl? A fishbowl. Like a fishbowl that holds fish. It's the quantum field. But except the quantum field doesn't have an actual ending. Right? It just... Yeah, I'm doing yoga. I'm doing yoga probably, I don't know, 3 times a week. The live with Phil and I that we did yesterday morning, I think it was like 75 minutes. He put it on his, it's on his Vimeo account, membership. So he has an amazing Vimeo community membership spot where he puts all the lives that he does, all of the one-on-one things that he does live. He does card readings, and he puts the card readings for the week or the month on his Vimeo. So that live yesterday, which was unreal, it's there. Go to his Vimeo. Go to his Instagram and then pull it up. I don't know where Dr. Phil is. I don't know where Mr. Dr. Phil Good is. If he's here, I'd bring him on. If he wanted to come on. He doesn't always want to come on. Yeah, it was really, Phil was spicy. Yeah, go check out his Vimeo. Yeah, Vimeo. I think it's Vimeo. Not Venmo. Not Venmo. Not the place where you give people money, paid money. My chapstick is by Beauty Counter. It's by Beauty Counter. Oh, he was here an hour ago. I don't know the name of it. It's just Beauty Counter. Yeah, it's called, yeah, Vimeo. Go check it out. No, I didn't see him. I'm going to save this on my Instagram. Who is it that did the live yesterday? Feel Good. Feel Good. How long have I been on? 6:30, probably an hour. Do you have to feel your trauma? You have to feel the emotions around that are stored in the trauma. You have to feel the thoughts. So trauma is, the way I like to look at trauma is like a ball of energy that's in your body. And maybe it's like a tennis ball, or maybe it's a basketball, or maybe it's just a tiny little like quarter-sized ball. But it's in the body stored as energy. That's how I like to see it. And it's stored, there are emotions in there and thoughts and beliefs that are related or connected to that experience, that trauma, right? This is just how I like to visualize it, because I like to visualize my experiences, even though it's all energy. So is there an actual piece of trauma stuck right here? Maybe, but does it have an actual thought in there? No, like the thoughts come from the mind, okay? But what I'm saying is that the way I like to see trauma is it's ball of energy, and it's holding thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, addictions, patterns, programs, okay? And when something happens now in the external world that triggers me to that trauma or brings me to that trauma, the way I know it is I'll feel a specific emotion, or I'll start to have a specific thought or a specific belief that most likely has been with me for quite some time. And the way you sort of release that trauma, right? I don't think trauma work has to be challenging or difficult or complicated. Mine never has. And I've had some deep, deep trauma in my life. I've had very deep, deep trauma. A lot of trauma. And I've never had to really do intense trauma work because I don't believe that it needs to be difficult. So what I do is anytime something is brought to my attention, whether it's an external experience or an internal experience, I will just acknowledge it. I will recognize it. I will give it space. I will feel it. I will perhaps recognize where it may have stemmed from, but that's not necessary. And depending about how deep or how big the trauma is, that belief, emotion, thought, what trigger, it may come up multiple times. It may come up 100 times in 2 years. It may come up 5 times in 6 months and then it's dissolved. How do you know that the trauma has integrated into you? You aren't triggered in the same way. You're not having the same beliefs come up, those same limiting beliefs. Somehow the limiting beliefs all of a sudden start to get quieter and quieter and quieter, right? They quiet down. Specific emotions that you've been holding in your body, they start to no longer show up. That's how I've experienced deep trauma, and that's how I've healed deep trauma. I journal a lot when it comes up. I don't judge myself. I always do that. Like, that happened, but it doesn't define me. I always do that. I'm like, what else is next? I'm like, what else next? I'm always saying next. I'm never taking this experience too seriously. You know, I mean, yes, it's intense. There are days and weeks where it has been so intense for me. So intense. Really intense. Like I thought I was losing my mind intense. But I always was the observer. I was always recognizing I was experiencing something. I was in something. Yeah. Yeah, integrating is like alchemizing the emotions. But I always say next. All right, this is happening next. All right, I'm going through this next. Always, 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 always. I never take it, listen, life is intense. Life is intense. Literally intense. All right. I think am I done? Yeah, start saying next. It's freaking magnificent. You won't grab things as much. Next, okay, so when I say next a lot, basically it's like, let's say that somebody just freaked out at me and I freaked out at them. We just had a massive argument and I'm feeling really bad. It's like, okay, next. What else? What's coming next? It keeps me present, you know? All right, this person doesn't want to talk to me right now. Next. It just allows me to let things flow, you know? It keeps me in movement. Next, it keeps me in movement. I don't grab anything as if it is final. I don't grab anything as if it can label me or create me. Next. That was great. Next. That sucked. Next. Dude, that was intense. Next. Yeah. If you're super stressed out and have anxiety all day and you're laying in bed, you're like, all right, next. Or you're in the anxiety. It's okay, I'm in the anxiety, I'm feeling anxiety or stress or fear. Next. What's next? There's always something next. That's flow. That's energy. But if you're attached to what you're experiencing, you're going to anchor it in and it's going to be dragged with you throughout your day. Nothing is designed to stick to you. Nothing's designed to stay on you unless you choose to hold it. And the only way that, well, there are multiple ways, but one of the ways that you hold an experience is that you become it. You are it. And you attach to it. Another way is that you judge it. Meaning you judge yourself. Another way that you anchor it in and hold it is that you are a victim to it. Then you anchor it in and off you go, being a victim to whatever's experiencing that you're experiencing. When you say next, it's freedom. It's not suppression or denial. It's experiencing everything and then saying, what else do you got? What else? So you may be feeling sadness, okay? You're feeling sadness, and at the same time you can say, okay, what else is here? Let's go. What's next? You're still feeling sadness. But you're like, what else? What else do you got, world? You're not afraid. You're receptive and open. Saying next is not denying or suppressing anything. It's quite the opposite. It's saying, let's go, bring it on. I always say that. Bring it on. What else do you have? Let's go, let's do this. If you remember that you're working with that version of you called higher self, it's like, okay, let's go. We've got this. No? Okay, I think I'm done. I will save this and I'll put it up on my Instagram. Thank you guys so much for being here, for staying with me. Thank you, Heather, for the badge. Thank you, everyone that bought badges. I appreciate you guys so much. Yeah, if you say stop, make it stop. You're going to anchor that in a little bit longer. Stop. I love you guys. Be gentle with yourselves. Be gentle with everybody out there. We're all going through whatever we're going through. And we're all just walking each other back home to ourselves. I love you.